What's poppin', Tub Nation? Welcome back to Tub Takes. This is a VGC video podcast where I go over what's been making waves in the VGC scene. Today I am joined by my co-host Adi up there at the top. How you doing? Oh no, right in the middle of a big bite.
Hungry.
All right, he's hungry. He's hungry for some news. Hungry for breaking down some tournament results. And speaking of said tournaments, we have your Pittsburgh regional champion joining us today. Two-time winner now. Chuppa, how you doing?
Pretty good. Alex, what are you on 2 or 3 so far? I'm trying
I
to
am
remember.
on 3. I don't think that I don't know if if we go band for band competition wise I'm gonna be able to stack up to you, but in specifically regional titles, I guess I got you beat there still.
I heard that 2 was the optimal number of regionals to win.
I did mess that part up. Man, but no, definitely very exciting to see you, because I don't know, you've just been crushing it lately but we'll get into that later about your team and your run and stuff. I'm very excited to talk about it. And we also have Meze joining us. Meze, how you doing?
I'm doing well, Thanks for having me.
Glad to have you. Yeah, glad to have you joining us. Top 16. Awesome. You guys actually both got to play on stream. We saw that one featured, and that was definitely a very fun match to watch back home, at least. I don't know. I had a great time watching Pittsburgh. I've had a great time watching Regulation H. We'll get your guys' takes on that I guess a little bit later. We first got a couple of things to talk about here at the beginning, just like tournaments upcoming and stuff. So let's get into that. Also, if you're watching this now, but you're not going to be able to watch the whole thing, you know that I didn't actually check to see if the bot is fixed. It is not. But regardless, CK49 on YouTube is Adi's YouTube channel, where you can find this uploaded tomorrow if you'd rather watch this on YouTube at 2x or something. And yeah, if you have any questions for us, feel free to leave them in the Twitch chat for our guests about their runs, about their teams, anything. Please do ask. And who is going to LAIC? That's actually is it the very first topic?
It is the very first topic. But before we answer that question, I do want to give a quick shout out to the future content that I'm getting out, which is a team report from Matt Tidd, who got second place at this regional that we're recording later this week. So look forward to that if you want to see more about Pittsburgh. He had a really cool team as well.
Yeah, absolutely. That team was wild. I'm excited to talk about it. And yeah, so first off is just mentioned LAIC coming up. The signups I think actually were already happening. Is this a multi-wave one? It looks like it is. Wait, no, is it?
I think there's a wave tomorrow, like sometime tomorrow morning, I want to say.
Yeah,
I wonder if this one filled up.
like 2 hours ago.
Click. I'm not going, but all right, it is sold out.
Anyone say they missed signups?
Wow.
So yeah, LAIC.
It has been 2 hours.
Yeah. So if we're a little bit behind on this one. So sorry if you needed, if this was your only warning about LAIC if you were planning on going, but regardless.
In that case, it's your fault for not watching last week's episode where we talked about it. But yeah. I guess going back to Max's question, are any of y'all going to LAIC?
I am registered, so.
Oh, okay. Let's
Really?
hype.
Wow.
And can you by any chance check how many people have signed up right now? Because I think that the other 3 of us are all going to be in California that weekend, right?
Let me check. It says that there are 453 registered players for VGC.
Okay.
That can't be the whole size of it. Like that for all
not.
3 divisions would be a little sad.
That sounds like half. Yeah.
Yeah. Another wave coming on the 24th. So if you're watching this one now,
10-24 slots.
What?
It says there, right 10-24 slots.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is they're not going to hit 10-24. That's LAIC is always the smallest internets, and I think NAIC didn't hit 10-24. So we should be good.
So if you are now dying to go to this one, and you're watching now, you still got another chance. So make sure you don't mess it up that time. And yeah, make sure you get in there. This one gonna be fun. Definitely gonna be fun to watch this one from home. Just I don't know, the internets have always incredibly high stakes and stuff, so it's always just a good time. but we'll save that more for when we're previewing it. When this tournament's actually upcoming. We've got I don't know, quite a few majors between now and then, so the metagame will probably shift around a lot. I think Victory Road has another tournament upcoming this weekend. I guess we'll talk about that one too. But the GC signups are now announced, and the weekend that it's going to be taking place on is also, of course, announced along with that. So it's October 3rd, first weekend in October. Chuppa, you looking forward to it?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to watching it. Looking forward to doing something else with my weekend.
Oh no, you're not going to play? You're not going to. You don't. The thrill of the competition isn't pulling you in.
Even before I had the automatic invite, I wasn't sure if I was really going to plan on doing that many GCs this year. I think the points payouts are depressing. I was even saying I think they're going to get buffed at some point. That is how bad they are. We'll see.
It does feel like the motivation for him is definitely gone. So wait, I'm just curious. Did you play in the first one? I can't remember actually.
No.
Okay.
No, I didn't.
Good call. Good call. You just knew. You just had that foresight.
Yeah. Wait a second. I won my first event of the season. Now I get to take a break, play the events that I want to. That's pretty cool.
Yes.
I was saying that
yes.
I wish I'd done locals and stuff to get in some games with the team I was going to use, but suppose I didn't need it.
yeah. It's so goofy. But I mean, it's awesome. You just get to just take it easy for the rest of the season. So early in the season, I'm sure it's definitely changed your view on things about what events. You don't have to grind those locals anymore, and you don't got to waste time on these GCs for sure. Meze, are you playing this one?
Yeah.
Yeah. I just see GCs as free practice. It's I don't really put any stake into it because it's okay, if I don't do well in the GC, whatever. I'm a better best of 3 player than I am best of 1. So if I get 5 points, sure. If I feel like stopping after 20 games, I'll just stop.
Yep. It seems like these GCs continue to produce some real teams, whether people are using conventional best of 3 teams or best of 1 teams. Like the team that won the first GC was something that kind of ended up inspiring what Lele ended up using to win Frankfurt. So, actually, I feel like that's probably. I'm guessing that's also a similar case for the team that you used, Chuppa, right? Was it originally designed for best of 1 first?
I think the lineage of the team was I want to say a Japanese player who'd used it late in December. Battle Stadium results did well. Shiliang used the team based on it to do pretty darn well in the most recent GC, and then Marcus used something really similar to that for regionals, and then we kind of kept iterating on it for Pittsburgh with an Italian player named Daniele who'd used something pretty similar in Frankfurt. So yeah, really a team that had been through a couple of iterations, but definitely has its roots in best of 1.
Yeah, and so I mean that's the cool thing about these online competitions is that they are still having metagame impacts that shouldn't be dismissed, and you don't always have to cook up some kind of crazy gimmick that's gonna fool your opponent when you could also just run good Pokemon with good sets and outplay. But I don't know. You could also run what was it the Choice Specs Blastoise? You can also run Choice Specs Blastoise if that's what you're into. That shit was cool.
Yo, KC, thank you for the raid. I appreciate it.
Let's see. Somebody asked a question here just now. Can Chubba explain about the set where he lost 2 Pokemon turn 1 and still won the game? Oh yeah, actually, I did hear about that one. You said something about that one.
Oh yeah, so what happens is I'm going into game 3 against Rishi Gupta, I think, and I'm kind of throwing a Mousehold Golden Goat lead against him and saying okay, I think you might lead your Garchomp, but in my head I was thinking oh, I think my Golden Goat always lives the Jolly, Terra Ground, Life Orb, Earthquake. It didn't in game 3. So Mousehold and Golden Goat just died of I don't know, I think it was Basculegion Flip Turn or something to adequately chip the Mousehold into the Earthquake range. 2 Pokemon down. Only damage I have is the Life Orb tick on the Garchomp. And after getting a couple 50-50s right, I needed a 5-hit Scale Shot or something in there too. Vascular Legion just went sicko mode, and I think Rishi and I learned together that 200 power last respects is enough to one-shot a Magmar. And after Magmar went down, there was, Vascular Legion was getting the Corviknight that was left at that point.
Oh man, the fish is so stupid. The fish is so fun, dude. I love it. That's actually so goofy. Okay. Bring it back to the GC really quick though. I guess like I wanted to check with you, Adi, if we had any kind of like interesting insights onto like what we think the points are going to be shaking out. Like, do you think it's going to be similar? Have we learned from this one? Are people going to push higher from it? What's your kind of takes on that angle?
For the ratings that you need to guess the same result?
Pretty much, yeah. Like whether,
I think,
trying to win or just get top 8, what do you think?
I don't think that EU is going to dominate the rankings nearly as much this time. This is pretty unprecedented for what we see here, where with the level of dominance from Europe. But that being said, I still think that in terms of rankings, you're going to see a pretty even split between North America and Europe. Maybe Europe. I think Europe tends to be a little better in best of one, so maybe a little slight bias towards Europe. And of course, we're going to see, I think, the one Oceania player here in Joji, who you could always expect to be in the top 5 somewhere. And that's it, right? Like that's, I don't think there's a single Latin player in the top 32. I think the top one was like number 50 or something, if I recall correctly. And Oceania also didn't have anyone else super highly ranked either, I believe. So I think that as a result, like the top 32 is just going to be maybe 2 non-NA EU players and I don't know, so something like 18 EU and 12 NA maybe is a good guess. Or something like that. And as for ratings, the ratings generally go lower over the course of the season, and the first one tends to have the highest ratings overall. So I think that the ratings will be lower overall, but I think the rankings are really what matters, is figuring out when to stop based on what your rank is compared to everyone else.
Yeah, that's true. That is the tricky part. Also, I know that it's old news and we've repeated it so many times, but you just casually dropping that like you can expect we could always be in the top 5 is just so funny. Like it's just how can you be so goated at playing these best of 1 tournaments? It's insane.
Yeah, I mean, for what it's worth, I think I also see Hoj constantly in the top 10. Like I can't remember the last time he was in the top 32. There's and Shiliang too. I think was he on this list? Yeah, he is. Number 23. Right, constantly towards the top of this ladder. So there are some players who just are really, really good at this. And if you practice it and it's a skill that you can develop, then yeah, like of course, the people who play a lot of best of 1 and prep for best of 1 events, like Shiliang and Joji. And I don't know about Hoj. I think Hoj generally runs his normal stuff. But yeah, they're going to do really well, and it's no surprise. And it shows you that like this is a very skill based format that you can have that level of consistency. It is very best of 1 is still very skill based, is what I meant to say. And you can have that level of consistency. And a lot of people write it off when they shouldn't. And I think it's a if you hate the GCs, it's a skill issue, and you should just get good. That's really my take. It's been my take for a long time, and I continue to believe that. Seeing the consistency of some of these top players.
100%.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
I just to put in like an extra like the way that I see GCs is just free experience. It's like it's like I always enter GCs now with teams that I actually intend on using. So it's like I get to play 45 games of free experience, and that's how I see it. Some of these players are the best players in the world, and beating me playing them in best of 1 and beating them, or me playing them in best of 1 and then beating me is just experience that iterates on what I'm going to use in a best of 3 environment anyway.
I feel like I have to throw in my what's the phrase? The devil's counterpoint. Devil's what's the devil
Advocate?
say? Advocate. Yeah, that kind of devil. I don't like GCs because they don't involve interacting with other people face to face. I absolutely respect people who are good at them. Like I think it's such a cool skill to have, not one that I have. But yeah, I don't. That's my beef with them. It's just so hard to play so much Pokemon at home and have to worry about like some of the, oh, how high am I gonna get? Oh, I lost to someone who's like 1650 or something. This is really punishing for my points, as opposed to just like a win or a loss at a live event, and you know exactly what that means or exactly what you're aiming for. Yeah, I hope people are looking forward to this. I love that other people love GCs.
Mm-hmm. Chuppa likes the IRL factor, and I can only think of 2 reasons. Either he is a screen peeker, and he needs to be able to look at your screen to figure out what you're doing, or he's really good at reading your body language. And if he can't see what you're doing, then he doesn't know what kind of way to go on the 50-50. But if he can see you, you're done for.
I have to use this height for something.
Oh man. Okay, so yeah, GC. It's not this weekend, so we'll probably talk about it more on upcoming week, anyways. So I'll save the rest of the conversation about it for then. But really looking forward to it. Start cooking up those best of 1 ideas, or don't just run good conventional best of 3 stuff, because that also does plenty well in these, anyways. And on the best of 3 side, before we dive into the Pittsburgh results, I wanted to talk quickly about the Victory Road Tour. Just briefly going through this one. Definitely a bit of a smaller one on account that it was the same weekend as a major tournament. Both players, competing at Pittsburgh, as well as people watching Pittsburgh, might have sat out playing in this. And so that said, though, still $600 for first is not nothing. And so that's going to be some pretty good Pokemon to look at the results of. And speaking of, Blaziken Baxcalibur ended up winning the whole thing. I think the team was actually released as well too, so if you want to go check out the full, I don't feel like pulling it up right now, but yeah, I think they might have put out the whole team with EVs and everything, if this looks like your cup of tea, if it's something you wanted to play.
Well, it's someone in here's cup of tea. We're in call with the Blaziken Warrior.
Oh,
me? Oh, I have been talking up Blaziken. I think it's legit. I think the set is really good. I think it's a very unique position in the format where a lot of fighting, like Sneasler being the other really big fighting type in the format, really struggling to hit Goldengo and really struggling to hit Archaludon, or it gets into awkward endgames with Archaludon. And so when something like Blaziken can just really disrupt people's game plans, because this is a team where you normally see a Sneasler on this type of team. But Blaziken being able to consistently hit Goldengo, or at least force it to Terra, and consistently hitting Archaludon is just and gaming Archaludon with Aurasphere is a very, very unique set of traits. And so, because of that, I think it really does have a place in the format. And I don't know if most teams should use it over Sneasler. Sneasler is still the better Pokemon, but yeah, I think that there are teams that can use it, and obviously it saw a lot of success this weekend. But speaking of things that saw a lot of success this weekend, Primarina had itself a weekend. I haven't seen a Primarina in a long time.
I guess that's true. The choice specs there looking a little bit familiar from the finals of Pittsburgh, so that's kind of funny. Maybe we were just playing Primarina wrong this whole time, and maybe you're supposed to just not play it very fair and kind of just slowly damage trade, but just put it on the field and put out as much damage as possible. I mean, that's kind of neat. I 2 instances of it isn't just a fluke or a complete coincidence. Like maybe Primarina is back.
Primarina was on half the finals teams over this last weekend. I think that's like I don't know, pretty impressive numbers if we're looking at it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things on that team that I'd love to see in action. Like, I don't think I've seen Blaziken used in a game yet this format, and based on what Audie is saying, I'm sure it just has merits in a lot of different matchups. Like, let's say one cool thing is you can go with the game where it's like, okay, I'm going to try and sweep with my Baxcalibur, and you can leave your King Gambit at home on that archetype. That's probably not something that you get to say that often if you're fighting steel types without a Blaziken.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now I will say, Blaziken will do less damage than you think it does. Like, consistently, always will do less damage than you want it to. The calcs are very disappointing. And in fact, I think in the GC, I ran Stellar because you need Stellar to have a chance at killing Archaludon with Aurasphere to one-shot it. So it's actually not that good. But it is
I didn't think the Aurasphere was getting anywhere near knocking out Assault Archaludon for what it's worth. I
assumed it was like 60 at most.
Yeah, I'm right there with you guys.
Attack like 100.
I don't actually know. Listen, it 2 shots, I think.
Did 2 shots
with Stellar for sure.
We get there.
Yeah, if they activate Terrabug in the rain, I don't know. Blaziken takes a day off.
If they Terrabug, then then you protect and you attack with your focus sash and you protect and then you get to heat wave it and hopefully you've managed to stall out rain turns, or rotate a fake out in or something, right?
Yeah. The one thing that I like about Blaziken that's not featured on this team is its ability to coach like a Dragapult. I think that can be a lot of fun for it. You know, you won't be able to do it on turn 1, and I think that's probably the most awkward part of it, is because Blaziken does need to get that speed boost after the first turn. But, you know, coaching a Dragapult, that's pretty fun, especially when, you know, if you want to throw a Steel type in front of the Dragapult to resist the Dragon Darts. Well, Blaziken's got you covered in more ways than one, so that's at least some cool synergy there. But Baxcalibur maybe fills a similar niche, and you don't have to jump through the hoops of, you know, not being able to coach off of the rip on turn 1, and maybe being able to coach after that point is cool. Plus, you could side Heatwave for Thermal Exchange if you're really cooking. That's not how that works.
Can you
That's
side
not how that
Heatwave?
works. No, but you
Okay,
can't. No.
I don't think you can. Like,
Oh man. Yeah. Okay, so let's see. Were there any other interesting teams to come out of this one? It looks like Wanma was running just the exact, no, not the exact, the close to exactly the team that Lele was using at Frankfurt. The Flamigo stuff, Elizabeth.
Oh, this
Slack.
is basically just the Spanish build of it, or I think people like mix and match the sets a little bit, because I like, let's say I'd fought someone using a really similar team to that early in the tournament, then getting ready for the match against Josh, I'm like, oh, these sets are going to be the same, and then it's like, oh, it's Terra Ground Blast Ninetales, this is a big change, or like Water Terror on Ursalune instead of Electric. Like there's kind of a lot of decisions you can make on this team. They're not going to like radically change the way it plays, but they're going to count for something.
Yeah, the Ground Blast is fun, but I don't know. When I saw it like hit a golden go for about like 60, I'm like, wow, we're gonna need a little more help to get rid of that golden go than just this. Like Blizzard to Terra Blast not killing it. I don't know. I just, Ninetales has a lot of better moves. I guess that's the part that really kills me, is that are you using Terra on Ninetales enough to, you know, warrant having Terra Blast over Icy Wind, Encore, Disable, Roar, or sorry, we already have Aurora available, but like, you know, Freeze Dry, anything. Like, I get to just think of, there's so many moves. So many.
yeah. Ninetales
So.
definitely one of the biggest 4-move syndrome mons in the format.
Yes. Yeah. But it's still doing really, really well right now. It was doing a bit better last weekend. I think only 1 in 4 finalist appearances between these two tournaments. It was looking on top of the world after Frankfurt and Monterey, though. I lost my place here. So I probably should click on the Dozo team, even though I only have bad things to say about Dozo. But Choice Band slacking Dozo, that's at least a little funny.
Oh my god,
Ooh.
I didn't realize that Wheezing is assurance. That's
yeah.
that's interesting.
Very interesting.
I didn't see that either. Oh my god.
Who's he assuring?
Shadow Rider, of course. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. You know, for my thoughts on Dozo right now, I think Indeedee and C's are actually really cool as partners for it. I think they are something that I would like be very enthusiastic about using on a Dozo team if I was trying to build out the team. Problem is, I think there's just enough teams in the format that have like pretty consistent answers to your Dozo set. I think Dozo is kind of stuck with this like very standard set that this player is using here, and it feels bad that you can't use anything other than the set that we've been using for 2 years without any major changes. I don't know, short of running Heavy Slam or something. It just feels like the team has to fix like so many problems when your Dozo can't even come to that many matchups. It's hard to recommend it to someone who isn't like a diehard Dozo fan right now.
Somebody's asking, are you going to bring Dozo to regionals now that you're qualified? Go back to your ways.
I mean, that's the problem. Like, I like Dozo, but I like winning even more than Dozo. And if Dozo's not going to help me win, then I'm not going to bring it. Like, maybe to a local, if anything. But then again, am I going to be playing that many locals? Big question mark there.
Yeah. Adi, you were saying?
I was saying that I'm trying to find where Dozo is in the win rates, and actually is much lower win rate than I thought, but it did do also sorry, Pittsburgh regionals, but it did do really. I felt like it did really well at Pittsburgh too. We might not talk about any of the teams because they're all top 32, top 64, but there were a number of them in that range. So,
what was its
yeah,
win rate?
It was lower than I thought. It was 53%, which is comparable to Basque Legion, right? So, and Tatsugiri is 56%. So the Dozo Tats teams did better than the Dozo teams. Which is actually, now that I say that, it did. Tatsugiri does have the highest win rate of any Pokemon with more than 6 uses. And so, yeah, like this is something that we see a lot of, is that Dozo Tats tend to have a very high floor and a very low ceiling. There are a lot of teams that just can't deal with it. It's a relatively easy team to pilot. It's a relatively easy team to build. And so, if you have a good matchup, you win your matchups, and you win like 2/3 of your matchups, or in this case, 56% of your matchups. But then you see a team like Chuppa's with Haze Dragonite, and you're like, well, I'm going to lose this one pretty consistently. And it's really hard to win a tournament trying to dodge all of the bad matchups that Dozo can run into. But at the same time, you're going to face a lot of good matchups too. It's just a very swingy team in that respect.
Yeah,
I think it's not even necessarily just good matchups and bad matchups, but playing Dozo against a really like competent player, especially with something like, let's think of Instant Rillaboom together. It's like your opponent is playing solitaire against you. It feels miserable fighting a good player with a team that has like the tools to go up against Dozo. That's another part of why it's just like feels kind of hard for me as a top player to justify the team. Is like, I'm not going to take down tournaments with this if it's something that top players are going to like kind of overperform against the archetype.
Yeah, I think it's kind of hard to express, kind of like what Adi was saying, where it's like the skill ceiling as a player when you're using Dozo, because again, like a competent player, even if they don't have the best Dozo matchup, can recycle enough annoyances into Dozo because that's just how the Pokemon works, and there's not much you can do about that, even if you're the Dozo pilot.
Right. And I honestly couldn't be happier if Dozo's struggling, so I hope I'm continuing to root on his downfall, even though we see actually, yeah, it seems like it's been reduced to a 2-2-2 type approach, which I know that oftentimes Dozo teams end up that way by nature, I guess, but the Indeedee Sneasler seemed to be the best third and fourth by a long shot. That's what ended up taking the 2 top 8 spots here, and when we were looking over here at Pittsburgh, the 2 top performing Dozo teams also featured Indeedee Sneasler. So maybe that's just the way to do it. You just gotta lean in on that aggressive nature and hit your matchups. Just hit them. Let's see. So yeah, not seeing a whole lot of other crazy or exciting teams here. Standard Rain, the P2 balance stuff that we've been seeing. This one a little bit different slightly, and then I don't know. Tega's got like the Life Orb Ninetales, but I guess you don't normally see Garchomp on this, but whatever. That's kind of
no. This is almost the team that got 15th at Frankfurt, which is actually the team that I was planning on bringing to the regional if I didn't catch COVID and couldn't go. But the only one difference is that there is the Garchomp on it over something. It's Mikal's team, yeah. Over the
right
Magmar,
here, yeah.
I think.
Guess so,
which does make sense. Thinking about the things that I struggled with. Actually, I don't know if it makes sense. It doesn't really deal with the problems that I was struggling with when I was using the team. But yeah, otherwise the team is the same down to the Life Orb Ninetales.
Yeah. Also forgot to mention that on the show at all. But yeah, super unfortunate that you couldn't make it out there. Audie's super sorry to hear about it.
I know. I was. You know what? I got a bed to myself because Adi didn't make it to the regional, and maybe that helped the victory.
True. I'll take the credit.
Some partial credit to Adi here. All right, so I think that's, and I'll double check if there's anything really stupid in just day 2 of Jay still using Mamoswine. Let's go. Props to Jay for that one. But yeah, I guess the rest of the teams, they honestly look relatively normal. So let's go ahead and move on to talking about Pittsburgh. And before we launch into that, we're actually going to talk about the merch that they announced, I guess, in advance. And they kept throwing up ads for it, or like little like a video between rounds, I feel like. I didn't actually watch much of them.
On the stream too.
yes, they were advertising it on the stream. Like I think they were like, I mean, somebody back me up here in the chat here, but I feel like they were like doing like a little like they had like a video where they were like looking at them. I don't know if it was live or if it was a video. I actually kept skipping it or muting, so I didn't watch it myself. But
I didn't watch. Certainly not the ads. But I know that Chuppa made a tweet about it, and Chuppa's tweet inspired me to make a 45-minute video about it. So lots of good content. Love the discussion. The discussion in both of our cases is about the Pachirisu hoodie,
right here,
which
yeah.
I think does look quite good. I think all this stuff actually looks very good. Like I think all this stuff looks clean. I love the leather jacket, especially relative to a lot of the like very like kind of almost like anime style, like very Pokemon forward stuff that they normally sell. This is like a little more subtle across the board, and a little more low key, and I think a little more wearable. So I really like a lot of the merchandise. But yeah, there was a Chuppa and I guess me started this conversation about the Pachirisu hoodie and why we keep rehashing the Pachirisu moment and don't talk about anything else.
So wait, you talked about it in the video, Adi. You got to watch the video probably. But I'm curious, what would you guys say is another VGC moment worthy of like rivaling it that you could put like on a T-shirt? What would you say is your pick?
Me?
Man,
I gotta watch the video.
You have one.
I said,
all right, you have it in the video. All right, if you have it in the video, then you know what? I'll ask the guests here if you guys have any suggestions. Like any really iconic moment from VGC history that you think would like, I don't know. Wolfie Con Paris is pretty funny.
Wolfie Con Paris is what I was gonna say because I'm new to VGC 2 years, so history for me is very very limited. So Wolfie Con Paris so far has been that kind of like VGC moment where it's like it has reoccurred enough times that it's like it's cemented in my understanding of what VGC history is. But again, my knowledge of VGC is limited to the past 2 years. So
to be fair, the past 2 years are probably the things that most people will remember besides, I guess, like how iconic Pachirisu is, whatever, because that one was like over 10 years ago, but like more people are watching VGC now than they were back then. So there's a lot of stuff that happened in the past 2 years that could easily be the one. Chuppa, do you have any thoughts?
I was going to say, I think Wolf's 2016 victory over John Evans is another like pretty iconic moment. There's some I'm trying to think, like, let's say one feature of that matchup you have is like Wolf's Rayquaza staring down like John's dual primals. That's something cool. Like Rayquaza and Bronzong against the primals. I don't remember the board states very well at this point. For what it's worth, I think it's hard to find things that really do rival the Pachirisu moment, but also I feel like we have to move past it and find other things to celebrate in VGC. We're not going to find other things to celebrate easily without a little help from Pokemon that maybe they have to be a little willing to, like, you know, if we got a bit of James Evans versus Giovanni Chisky stuff, like if they force that a little bit, I don't think I'd be unhappy for it or that kind of thing.
That could be cool.
Chuppa, you I know you didn't watch the video, or at least the full video. But did you? I don't think you were into that. You said it was too long.
I started and felt like I liked what you were saying, but it was a little long.
It was still a little long. We're on the same page though. And you mentioned I don't want to just rehash the things that I already talked about. Excuse me. But one of the things that really struck me, Play Pokemon has an Instagram page. I don't know if you know that. Instagram, of course, very popular among people who like Twitter is not very popular among people who don't play VGC or are like crazy conservative. Because you know it's owned by a fascist. But you know, Instagram is very popular. They were Play Pokemon page on Instagram. They did not mention who won the world championships. It's not mentioned on there. There's no mention of Gio winning worlds. It's crazy. They made so many posts about worlds, did not mention who won the world championship. I was dumbfounded when I saw that. It is so tragic how poorly marketed the world champion is. Like these huge events are. So yeah, like there is a problem with like we do need more big events. We do need more like big moments to market. And I think that Play Pokemon has to do a better job of doing that. And if you want to hear all of 45 minutes of me explaining why they need to do that, what we should be looking for, and how they can do that exactly, that's what the video is about.
Yeah, Jesus. If we don't have Pokemon like kind of supporting the creation of more moments, we're gonna get more really intelligent Twitter posts from people that that think Pachirisu is the only thing that ever happened in VGC, or that all the megas look like letter X and letter
No,
Y.
don't. Chuppa, do not bring that here. Do not bring that energy here, man. It's gonna the chat's gonna burst into flames. Even though I'm right there with you. Let's actually talk about some of the other shirts really quick before we move on, just because, like, I don't know, there's these more like esport jersey style ones. And I think they seem fine. Like, I'm actually I think it's kind of fun, and like it feels almost like overdue. I'm not the person for these things, to be fair. I'm not the person that buys the world's jersey or any stuff like that. But it does seem cool that they just kind of like have like stuff representing VGC that you can wear at tournaments now. Like, I think that's like it's just cool that we have that. I honestly loved seeing Landorus Therian because like he was like a big dog in a lot of old VGC stuff. He's not the same big dog anymore, but it's just cool to see him like on there and be like, remembering the old days when he actually mattered. Oh man.
I like a lot of these shirts, and I think describing them as like something that I'd wear at a tournament is probably about right. Like I have one or two other Pokemon shirts that are kind of like this. It's like a black shirt. I feel great wearing it at a tournament, wearing it outside. Maybe I'll do it some of the time. But yeah, these are all like really tasteful on the whole. I think I like that the leather jacket and to a lesser extent the hoodie exists as like higher end stuff. Like if you want to drop $170 on a Pokemon thing, that leather jacket is like probably a pretty good bang for your buck at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I definitely agree. These are definitely things that I would wear to a tournament. And when I went to the shop at Pittsburgh, my only disappointment was that it wasn't a Pokemon that I liked on any of the shirts. But I was like, hey, they're
Yeah.
probably gonna release a lot of these at different regionals, so I'll wait until I see one with a Pokemon that I like on the front, and I'll definitely grab one. And
Right.
I also echo Jubba's sentiment of when I saw that jersey, I was like, oh, that jersey looks nice. How much is it? Oh. Well, let's wait for a shirt.
Yeah, tough. Yeah, I'm definitely waiting to see at my next event. I guess the next NA event is Milwaukee. I'll be at that one. I want to see how many of these leather jackets are out in the rotation now. That's just wait. Actually, one thing I'm double checking here because I actually don't know if it's stated here. Is this sold online or is it only at the events?
Just
only at the
physically, I'm
events.
pretty sure.
Oh, that's kind of funny. Okay, that's kind of neat. That's kind of neat. I like what that does because it does mean that you have to like go to a tournament to get this stuff. So if you're like a big fan of it, then I guess show up. But I don't know if anybody's such a big fan to like book their travel to Milwaukee just to get the leather jacket. But regardless, it's cool.
I think it's a cool way to like, I don't know, maybe you live like an hour's drive from a regional and like you know about it anyway. Now you can get a Pokemon shirt that you're kind of interested in. I'm probably describing like a very small subset of people, but I think it's a cool incentive to go out there. I don't think these feel like something that are kind of scalper proof. I don't think the demand for them is high enough or that the supply is going to be low enough that you're going to run into issues with that either. It felt like the stuff wasn't selling totally like hotcakes. I don't know. I think I like these a lot. Like my beef with Pachirisu suicide, and even that's pretty minor. Like really big win for play Pokemon here.
It is cool.
Yeah.
It is really cool.
I did a quick search. I didn't see a single sold item on eBay. So it's not we're scalping. It doesn't sound like they sold out at the venue. So yeah, I think that's a good balance to strike.
They're not like exclusive merch. They're gonna be at basically every regional. So it's one of those things where it's like if you want to get one, you always will be able to.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right, let's go ahead and move on to breaking down the tournament finally here. Talking about Pittsburgh, talking about what took place over this past weekend. So, Chuppa, you ended up taking home the whole thing, losing only to, I believe, Meze here, actually. That's not the reason that I brought Meze on, just to rub it in your face. But otherwise, yeah, really crazy strong run with this team. So you talked a little bit about its roots, but yeah, tell us a bit about it. And yeah, I guess just break down for us, like, the team.
So this was something that I'd talked with Marcus a little bit about before he went to Mexico, and I could tell immediately like, oh, this is a team that seems strong, and it seems like a team that I would have a lot of fun and like natural aptitude for using. Really, the core of the team is going to be the Mousehold and the Choice Specs Golden Go. This is like a Golden Go that's run very bulky, but also very strong. You accept that you're going to go after things, and it lets you have like also very nice speed tiers with your Mousehold. Like there's so many Pokemon, like even Pokemon like Incineroar or King Gambit or AV Blood Moon that normally like might feel okay about taking the Make It Rain. They don't feel okay about Steel. Choice Specs, Make It Rain, and Super Fang together. It's going to get very near a knockout on essentially everything. And then building on top of that, you have other Pokemon and like kind of fill in the pieces from there, like Dragonite to set up Tailwind, or potentially even haze your own, Make It Raindrops. Basculegion with Focus Ash is just like a really, really good late game Pokemon. You're essentially like guaranteed to be able to click Last Respects with like 150 or 200 power in a ton of your game plans with this team. Then Ursaluna and Blood Moon and Incin are sort of just like filling out other holes that the team has. Like let's say Incin just gives you immunity to those powder moves for things like Sun matchups, or helps you swap around like enemy Golden Go a little bit better. Ursaluna Blood Moon is just like, it is kind of the sixth Pokemon on the team, but it is like very solid. I think in like let's say the stream match against Josh Lorsey especially, it put up a good finish. Yeah, just a very like, I don't know, well-rounded team and solid for this tournament metagame.
Oh, I didn't actually think about this. Somebody asked a question in the chat. They said, did they stream round 1 because the tournament was starting late? And I would have to guess, because that was something that I was not there, so I can't speak on it. But you guys were talking about on Twitter a mega line. What was the mega line? What happened?
Oh, I think the security was just moving like, I don't know,
really
slowly, or they didn't anticipate demands. Did you have like any other thoughts on it, Meze?
No, it really just seemed like they were the security line was moving really slow because they a lot of people had bags, and they had like maybe like 3 lines for checking bags, so like there
Yeah.
wasn't as many entry points, so they got
100%.
jammed, and it took like maybe like 90 minutes past when we would have normally expected to start for them
Ooh,
to
okay,
get everyone
okay.
in, something like that.
Yeah, yeah. The nice part is they're not gonna start without you, thankfully. So if anybody's like stressing that stuff, they will wait if like people are being held up at the door. But yeah, I mean, I'm on the West Coast here, a completely different time zone, so I think I just slept through all that. But when I woke up, it just seemed like it was like, wow, this tournament's really slow to get going. What were you saying though, Chuppa, before I cut you off?
Oh, someone in chat, Phantom Kaiser, was saying round 1 was streamed, which I wasn't even aware of. I thought one
Yes.
of the things kind of preventing us from doing like all these day 1 streams is sort of just like, that's legally you can only have like casters and some of like the stream staff people working so many hours in a day, and that kind of just means like for day 1 you're getting what is it, like 7 rounds as opposed to 8 is kind of the impact of that. So
So
interesting to hear round 1 might have been streamed.
I might not
Yeah,
know
I wonder
that much
if
more about it.
Go
ahead,
I think so, Chup. I think you're right. I think it is. Sorry. Excuse me. Still kind of recovering. So I think you're right. I think it is a labor law thing, but I also think that VGC events, they've realized, have started to run so smoothly and so quickly that they can, in our 8 rounds, get done in a time period where they can reasonably stream 8 hours. Now, I think that if there was a long delay, maybe we miss a round 8 stream, which would be really bad. And that's the trade-off that you get. But recently, I mean, when did you guys get done with day 1? Do you remember?
It was like
At a
6,
super
right?
normal time, yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't that late.
Yeah, I mean, if you're
So-
working 10 to 6, right? Like that's an 8 hours or whatever it is. So yeah, I don't know. 8 hours and 40 minutes, says Team Rocket Elite, says Jimmy.
So my
for day 1
understanding,
stream.
Adi, I think, is like we've mentioned already, labor laws is at play here. But I think they will when it goes over, it's just like a matter of like overtime, and I think Pokemon doesn't want to do the overtime normally because obviously the security backup was not a planned thing. That they ended up being ready to just stream their first match by the time round 1 came around, and they ended up streaming all of them through round 8. They probably just had to do overtime is the reality, and they just had to bite the bullet on that one, probably pay a bit extra or whatever. But that I think that we're not going to see this like as a standard going forward for sure. I think it was absolutely just tied to that security delay.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's nice that it like resolved relatively smoothly. I'm someone that like personally can get really psyched out by a tournament like running longer than it ought to. Let's say like one thing that's kind of easy to forget about that is like, I don't know, if you're at the tournament for an hour longer than you need to be, maybe you only have like snacks that are going to get you for through a certain like part of the day, and then you'll run out of food and you won't have a lunch break to restock. So
Yeah.
it's good that after it happened, tournament ran like incredibly. Like you guys said, the judges just have like this. It's down to a method at this point. They're just running events so smoothly for the most part.
Good. That's good. Yeah, the last couple I've been at have been just going by really quick, so that's been it's been good lately. And I mean, we have a couple more events of that before ultimately they get, you know, thrown. I can't think of the right term for it. I was gonna say thrown into the fire, but basically, like whenever we get champions, then it's just gonna be like a hard reset. We're gonna have to figure out how to do tournaments again a little bit.
Yeah, I'm super worried about that, honestly. Like,
I know, like the start of the Switch era was bad.
Yeah, it was.
Rough.
We got phones, man. We got phones.
So yeah, that's the thing, because you know, in Pokemon Go, they're not allowed to use their own phones. So is that going to be the same thing in VGC?
I don't think we know. I just don't think we know, honestly.
Yeah. But then
I would hope that.
Right? Like.
Well, I mean, you can also use your Switch, right? It is on your Switch as well.
I don't think they're gonna put champions on the phone and then tell people that they have to come to tournaments with a Switch. Personally,
no. I think that you should hopefully be able to use either.
Yes.
But I would hope that they ask people to, you know, put their phones on airplane mode in the same way that you put your Switch on airplane mode or stuff like that. Don't know how enforceable it is, right? But I think that would probably be a rule. Or ideally, champions, if it's possible, like turns off all notifications while you're using it. Although I don't know if you can make your phone do that, or different phones, and how the, you know, the software and how that works. But yeah, I think it'd be a little problematic if you were able to like get text while you were playing, and I think it'd also be really distracting if you got text while you were playing. So I'd probably put my phone on do not disturb anyways.
Yeah.
Tabbing over and texting Chuppa, yo, dog, they let Bass. What do I do? What do I do? So stupid.
That's how it feels getting ready for a matchup that, like, I don't know, maybe I've got a friend who's like an expert with the team and I'm like kind of learning it in the middle of a tournament. It's like, yo, I'm up against so-and-so next round. What are we doing? What are we doing? I did not have enough help there in a certain stream matchup that I played. It's so hard to figure out stuff on the fly. I'm just thinking about, like, oh my god, there's really so many questions for the start of Champions. I'm like optimistic that things will get to a good point, but yeah, we will just have to see.
Yeah, we're ultimately just in the dark here. I'm so excited for it though, but and like we're all just asking ourselves these questions because we just don't know. But we can't help but wonder. Bringing it back to Pittsburgh though, Chuppa, with your team. So I'm actually kind of curious because I feel like I know the answer to this, but maybe not everybody. But like, how much practice did you get with the team before you loaded it up?
I had been doing a lot of internals primarily against people like Zach Carlson, some against like Marcus, and I think mostly just a lot of internals against like Zach and maybe a couple other friends, and then sort of just like reviewing replays from friends. I am someone that will like swear by the value of like replays in Pokemon. I pretty religiously review like major tournament VODs when I think there's something that I have to gain from them. Like, let's say for Frankfurt, I can't say that I've watched like every single stream game from that weekend, but I've watched a lot of them. I've watched the ones that I needed to learn the things that I wanted to about the metagame. And that kind of helped inform me on the decision of the team that I was going to use.
Right.
So moderate amount of practice, but kind of just like a lot crowded into the past couple of days, which is not really so different from how I did Worlds, and that also happened to work out pretty well.
100%. Yeah, I was curious about your method because like I know like I said like a little bit about it, and like it is just like a little bit different than what other people do. I just like you like did not ladder at all with your team, right? I'm guessing you probably didn't play a single one. Yeah. So I mean obviously internals can be just as good or even better practice depending on who you're doing them with and what you're trying to gain from them. But I don't know. It's just like now I'm not gonna see, you know, Chuppa win the regional like this and tell everybody, so just quit laddering, you know, just don't even bother anymore. It's useless. But I guess like just It just shows that there's like multiple paths to success in VGC, and I just think that part's really cool.
Yeah, I was talking with Nails a little bit over the weekend too, and hearing him say like exactly like how few games he'd played between nationals and worlds and stuff, and realizing like, oh, if anything, it's validating to hear that other people like, I don't know, approach Pokemon in a similar way to me, because at times it's like I might even feel bad that I'm not playing it a little bit more, but different people are going to find different paths to success, and I think I tend to know what mine looks like by now.
Yeah, if you're playing on Showdown, you are wasting your time. Apparently, that's actually what Chuppa's here to say. Is just don't even bother.
I think you should interpret that a little differently, which is that if you're playing on Showdown, really focus on improving as a player more so than prepping for an event. And then I guess once you reach a certain skill level, you don't need to play a huge quantity of games. You need to get very like specific practice. But I know Chuppa, you've been playing for so long, and you definitely put in the work on simulators when you were getting good at the game. Right? Like you need to get that critical mass of practice in first.
Of course.
Yeah, the way that I approach the game is not something that I would like recommend to very many other people. I'm someone that's been playing for 15 years. I have a lot of like friends that I'm lucky enough to collaborate with and work in internal systems with. So yeah, I think playing a lot of games if you're someone that's newer is good. And this is something that's like kind of a feature of people that I coach. If you're someone that's willing to like really put in a lot of games and really try to learn from them, you're going to be capable of some pretty incredible things.
Absolutely. So actually, Chuppa, bringing it back to your run, we talked about like a game or two from it, but I was just curious, did you have any standout games that you wanted to talk about?
Yeah, I was gonna say literally pull up Star Root standings. Another plug for this site is so important for like learning about tournaments or the ways that they played out. Like even for this tournament, being able to look at things like what matchups Marcus and Daniele had fought in their own regionals, where they got top 8 and top 64 respectively. Figure out what the team struggles with and learn things like, oh, this rain matchup is a little bit spooky. Stuff like that is so important. Yeah, I'll go over a couple of them. Like, let's say round 1, sitting down from Ben Grismer, who's
you actually did have a pretty tough opponent round 1. That's pretty strong, honestly.
I forget if I fought Ben in a major before, or if I have. It hasn't been for quite a while, but Ben has like beaten me senseless the past couple of times we've played at locals with like size spam teams that I didn't like my matchup against and didn't know how to play either. And Ben is someone that tends to know how to approach his matchups pretty well. This time was a little bit like that, where game 1 I kind of didn't realize like, oh, exactly like how deadly the Dusclops Blood Moon combo was going to be late game. But then over the next 2 games, it's like, oh, this is a team that Golden Go can be really strong against if you're just like putting everything into supporting the Specs Make It Rain mode. The problem was Dusclops' pressure is really annoying against Golden Go, because if you're like taking drops, talking out fodder like Indeedee, who's maybe just there for a bit of chip damage early game, you can run out of Make It Rains. And this is something that I had talked with Ben a little bit about after the game. But if he had been counting my Make It Rains like really precisely, I might not have been able to like win the set.
Oh my
just goes to show
god.
you like this is something that you need to be keeping track of in your notes when you're using a pressure Pokemon, and your opponent really might only have 4 Make It Rains. 4 Make It Rains isn't enough.
That's so goofy.
I also just noticed the Excadrill doesn't have Earthquake, so that's really good for your Mouse Dangle mode.
Right.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah. No, this one was cool, and honestly, when we showed it off on stream, it was looking very impressive, very strong, and honestly, still a very good 9-3 finish despite taking the round 1 L. I mean, I think both of you were probably groaning a little bit when you saw on Arcanine who you had to play. It's like already starting with somebody I recognize and somebody who's quite strong.
Yeah.
What about in
like,
the?
I don't know. It's important to sort of just like be able to take those things in stride. Like, I think it's no fun to like end up moaning about the opponents that you play. You kind of just have to be capable of muscling through. And if anything, like let's say my reward for fighting a lot of these like pretty talented opponents was it looked great on my resistance, and I didn't have to play a top 16.
That's true. What about in day 2 or cut? Just one more match. Any other one that was cool or memorable, I guess?
Any other one? I had Pretty fun set against Ichu and that was definitely a matchup where I had to figure out how to approach it on the fly and figure out because he'd worked on a team with like Dawei and a couple other people and it just had some like unique sets I'm trying to think if I have like too much else to say about it, but it was just a fun matchup, and Ichun is a good friend that I haven't had a chance to fight in tournament for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. I think and then like in terms of favorite sets that I played over the tournament, I think like playing Jeremy Coate kind of as like the warm up on the Lele regionals winning team and then being able to fight Josh again later is like I want to say it's a matchup that's fun for me, but it's also a matchup that favors my team, so of course I'm going to have a bit of fun with it. But
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
I think the matchup against Josh was pretty indicative of just like I don't know, it's pretty good honest Pokemon in that matchup.
Sure, sure. As honest as you can be, clicking Terra, Steel, Specs, make it rain, you know?
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah. Good, honest
Honest damage.
Pokemon.
Honest damage. Honest damage.
Yep, yep. And actually, yeah, on a similar note, I wanted to bounce down over to your team and your run, Meze. So you had Terra Steel Life Orb, I guess. Okay, so yeah, this was the fun is when you guys queued into each other on stream and they show us just the 6 Pokemon. I was like, dang, this is like a near mirror, you know? It's Whimsicott versus Blood Moon. And that's basically where the similarities stop. I think actually all 6 Pokemon are different. All 6 slots, I guess. All 5 that are in common. I'll let you continue. This is so funny.
Yeah, it was funny. Like I saw the team sheet and I was like, oh, okay, he's using the same. And then I kept looking and I was like, oh, wait, I go first. Wait, like I was literally like where my brain went. Like I was just like, wait, I go first every time, but I don't. I think this should be fun for me actually. That was immediately where my brain went. Because it was like, okay, well, his team is kind of here. He's trying to take damage and return fire, return more damage to me than I do to him. But like, if I just go first and don't let him take a turn, then like it should go well for me. And that's kind of like what my game plan was just stopping him from being able to take turns. And it worked out pretty well. It was like there was it was funny because like game 2 I started Incineroar and the only thing that happened was the Incineroar dropped. But because I set up a board state where it was like Goldengo cannot click Make It Rain here, I was able to then throw in my Goldengo and it was locked into Power Gem and I was like, I think I just won here because like I'm going to start clicking Nasty Plot until the game ends. And like yeah, like that it's interesting because it's like because I have so many pieces on my team that do a lot of damage and they don't need to necessarily set up, I can lose a piece and then just throw in another piece that is now an active threat. Whereas there are certain pieces on Chuppa's team that I could ignore because it's like, okay, well, I don't have to deal with this piece because it can't do damage. I just have to force, I have to force the Gledango to lock into a move, or I have to force the Dragonite to click Scale Shot, or I have to force out the Basculegion early because there's no other swap. And I kind of figured that the bear wasn't going to come to this matchup because I don't have that many special attackers outside of Goldango, and I have too many ways to it would be a Terra Hog if it came. So I kind of figured we'd be bringing the same pieces, just in some different order.
Right.
So
right.
it was a mirror match in Pokemon, but like I was very certain I was gonna go first and that I could like take advantage of that to force Chuppa to make certain calls. Especially because the Goldangos was specs. It was like, okay, well, I just set up a board state where his best piece has to lock into a move, and then whatever move he locks into, I throw in something that it can't really hit that well.
I wanted to ask just kind of like about your team in general outside of the context of the set. The Mousehold and the Dragonite, probably the 2 that like stand out the most here. I mean, everybody knows since like Scarlet and Violet came out that Technician Population Bomb Mousehold can just OHKO things disrespectfully. In fact, we saw it, win the first regional of Reg H last year. But it's not like this, overwhelming meta threat. It's not seen on every team, and so it is still kind of a fun pick here. Was it a very big part of your run, or was it only there for specific stuff?
It was pretty big. So like the team, and Chuppa can also probably attest to this. Like the type synergies of this team is kind of centered around Mousehold supporting like ghost types. So like you can kind of set up board states where your ghost types aren't really threatened by other moves because Mousehold exists. And that was the main reason why I had Mousehold on the team, is not necessarily for Population Bomb, but for that redirection type synergy with the other ghosts. I debated behind making Mousehold Friend Guard Super Fang stuff, and it really just came down to me not really needing that extra bulk, and there being certain use cases of Population Bomb that it would be able to do something that the rest of the pieces on my team couldn't, especially dealing with like certain focus sash mons. So that was why I stuck with Population Bomb. But Mousehold's job is more so for its typing than anything else, or at least that was how it originally got onto the team.
All right. That's actually kind of a funny, like, I mean, I enjoyed that answer because it was not at all what I expected. You know, I thought you just liked clicking Technician, Population Bomb, and Oko and things. So
No,
that's,
it's actually interesting. I would say my most used move with Mousehold was probably Follow Me. Like,
yeah.
there were certain times where I did want to click Population Bomb, but its most click move was Follow Me.
And I like that because it's also like a way to be dishonest in open
Yes.
team sheet. You can do that with
Yeah.
EV spreads. You can do that with move sets and stuff. Like people are going to be looking at this and thinking, you know, they're going to be attacking me with Population Bomb every chance they get, and you're actually just clicking Follow Me.
Exactly, because like they can't disrespect that Population Bomb can one shot the Dragonite or one shot the Entity through Sash and all those different things. So they're going
Yeah.
to be looking at Population Bomb, and I'm just going to click Taunt or Follow Me or Protect and attack with Michael Dango.
Yep.
I really just wanted to know like how you came to this team, Meze. Like I'm curious if we like were looking at some of the same teams when we got inspiration, or if you like went through a very different process and came to something that happens to look similar.
Yeah, it was a completely different process actually. So I coming into Reg Age 2.0, the only thing I told myself is I'm gonna play Goldango. I want to play Goldango. And then the second thing I told myself is I want to use Prankster, Tailwind. So I looked at Toronto teams, saw Geo's Toronto's team with it was like Whimsicott, Goldango, Dragonite, Incin, Sneasler, and Garchomp. And I immediately said I don't like Sneasler on this team. Like I feel like Sneasler is like a not like it looked like a glue, like kind of like a I want to put something on this team that's a good mon, so I'll put Sneasler. That's what it seemed like to me at first. So I immediately like was like, what can I replace this with? What is Sneasler doing? I was like, okay, Sneasler is just faster than most mons on the format, but I wanted to kind of round out the team a little better when it comes to type synergy because, like I said, type synergy is important to me. So I was like, okay, this team has fire, water. Or this team has grass, fire. What's a water type that I can use and kind of round out this stuff that I am trying to do? And I saw that there are a lot of teams that were using Scarf Basque Legion with different Terra types. At first, it was I threw out an adaptability Scarf Basque Legion with Terra Water. My friend Lorenzo was like, that should not be Terra Water. Terra Water adaptability is garbage. And I was like, okay, yeah, the boost from adaptability is not really that good when you Terra Water, and also like I never click Aqua Jet as it is. So at the team as it was, since I removed Garchomp and I removed Sneasler, I was like, okay, I kind of have a hole here for like King Gambit. Like I don't really hit King Gambit that strong with what's left. So I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, well, let's do Terra Fighting Terra Blast. That should be fun, and it is very fun using Terra
And we got
Fighting
Mirror
Terra
Herb
Blast.
just in case. Mirror Herb
Yeah,
too.
and the added insurance with Mirror Herbs that I could just like throw Incineroar in front of King Gambit. And that's kind of like what ended up happening was I changed the team and removed the pieces that were good into Gambit. So I had to change the items around on certain mons to then also give me a good matchup into it regardless. The items and terras and whatnot. And that's actually the main reason why Mousehold is Terra Fairy, is I need more insurance into King Gambit, but it also is good into Dragonite stat because most of them only have Scale Shot as a move. But
Yep.
believe it or not, it actually is mainly because it was with Terra Ghost before, and then I was like, I can't bring Mousehold Terra Ghost into a King Gambit matchup, but I can bring Terra Fairy Mousehold into a King Gambit matchup, especially the way that I use Mousehold, which is more as a supportive piece that scares the other person into tearing something into Ghost or running away from Population Bomb. So it that's how I kind of came to this. The Basque Legion replaced Sneasler, and then Garchomp was just double dragon. So I was like, okay, I need synergy with the ghost types that I have. I have Fantasy Core, I have Fire, Water, Grass. I need a normal type on that can now give me synergy with all these ghost type weaknesses that I have.
Got it. Yeah, that it's, I don't know, everything about this team just feels like it came into it. I would not have guessed all the answers about how it came about. Like, I guess, like, I definitely see it being Geo team inspired. That part, like, it went over my head originally, but now I'm like, yeah, no, there's a lot of things here that that do make sense. I guess the last thing I want to ask about the team before we talk a little bit about your run is just was Choice Band Dragonite also feeling really good this weekend?
Absolutely. Choice Band Dragonite was like high key after Goldango. Choice Band Dragonite is number 2. He's the queen of the squad. There's just a lot like because this is a Tailwind team and I don't necessarily have like a decent slow mode. A lot of the Trick Room teams that I played against, I needed something that could operate whether or not Trick Room was up or not. And like Dragonite was amazing for that because it's like if they're slow, if they're fast, it doesn't matter. As long as like Psychic Terrain isn't up, then I can use E-Speed. And if Psychic Terrain is up, I do have answers into dealing with hard Trick Room stuff. But so he was important in that regard, whereas like I need him to be able to ignore the fact that like there are certain mons that can like outspeed me even in Tailwind, like the Sneaslers with Seed and stuff, or that there are going to be mons in Trick Room that I might need to hit anyway. So that was his role, where he's just kind of like ignored speed tiers, but was able to dish out consistent damage anyway. And also like there was a lot of he just does really well into like balance teams that the ones that don't have Ninetales, like he does like extremely well into because like they just don't have the type of damage to be able to like fight Dragonite without bringing their own Dragonite. And there's like 4 things on this team that other Dragonites don't want to be in front of. So it allowed me to kind of like bring my Dragonite and just watch them like not bring their Dragonite and them not having the actual pieces that could fight my Dragonite. So I would just keep clicking Outrage, Extreme Speed, and just out damaging them and not taking much damage in return because Dragonite has great natural bulk and typing.
You did get impacted on stream too, didn't you? I feel like you did.
I did. Yeah, I did. It was interesting. I did it because I saw how little damage Chuppa's Dragonite took from Make It Rain. So I immediately thought, okay, it's Terra Fairy. I can't click Outrage, but if I click E-Speed and then he scale shots me back, I might. I basically like I only had one. I wanted to KO him in one turn. I didn't want to give him another turn to be able to click like another move. So and I didn't think E-Speed would pick up because I saw how much damage Make It Rain did, and I was like, I think that Dragonite's a little bulky. Like I think I actually have to just like kill it in one hit and not give it like a second turn. So that was why I clicked Giga Impact, even though I can miss. I was like, I think this is correct because if I
was that better than just doing like extreme speed twice? I don't remember.
I don't remember what the board state was, but I think there was like
you had a backmon. I think you might have had a backmon. I think you just won regardless.
No,
I don't think you did.
No, okay. I do remember like thinking that E-Speed doesn't KO, and I don't remember why that mattered, but there was a reason why I clicked Giga Impact instead of E-Speed.
I believe
it. So besides that match, which we've talked about plenty, let me go find your run. Was there any other like 1 or 2 standout games that you had in your run?
Standout games. I mean, against let's see. I wouldn't standout games. I wouldn't really say because like all
right, guys. If you played Meze this weekend, just know that it was forgettable. That's actually like that's what I'm learning here is that like he was just falling asleep playing the game against you.
Most of the sets that so it's actually funny. The set against Ian Brito actually was probably a fairly interesting set because like I guess it kind of speaks to the volatility of Marco's Sun because it's like the lines that I that I had into it. This he just never led anything that was consistent with what I had ever practiced against in Marco Sun. Like he led Charizard in P2 game 1, and I was like, what? Like what is this lead?
Fair
Like,
enough.
yeah,
Fair enough.
I didn't even understand. Like every game there was just some different combination of leads, and I was like, this team is like actually insane because like these leads are all like kind of working in some regard. Like it was a game 3 nail biter with this guy because it was like I never thought that someone would lead these mons that in my head don't make sense to lead with each other, but it just speaks to the versatility of this team, and like kind of like in the hands of like it speaks to why Marco was able to have success with this, because in the hands of like a really good player, they can kind of force these like mind games on lead where it's like, oh, you don't have an answer to everything I could possibly do here, and you just have to make calls. But I will say like this was the set that like comes to mind as like, oh my god, like I have to deal with this, like because I don't feel like I have a bad matchup into Marco Sun, but it was just leading like a madman. So
yes, that's awesome. Making you
say,
sweat by round 3.
No, because actually funny, after round 3, that was when the set started to become more consistent in terms of like, oh yeah, everything feels great. Like up until I lost to Jeremy, everything was like pretty smoothly going great in terms of games. Like I'd say my set with Jeremy was interesting because it was a game 3 board state where I had my Dragonite in front of his chipped Ursaluna, and this was another board state where I was like, okay, I don't want to give him too many turns because the Ursaluna had like leftovers in grassy terrain.
Yeah.
So I had already done like my calcs on the Frankfurt bear that MDB had released, and Terra Normal Giga Impact has a chance to OHKO it like from full. So
yeah.
I had known that, and I had chipped it a bit, like maybe done like 15% or 20, 30%. It healed back to about 90%. And I was like, oh, okay, I win here. Because, like, he had protected the last turn. I was like, he's not going to protect again. And I was like, okay, I chipped it. It has to drop to this. I don't want to give it more turns of healing. So I can't lock into E-Speed. So I went for the Terra Normal Giga Impact. It landed, and he lived on, like, 5%, and both of us were like, "What?" Like,
like comfortably lived? Oh no!
Oh, yeah,
it was like
it was like near you when this happened, and the end of the set had like the funniest reactions between you and Jeremy.
It was like 5%. Like it was not like the last sliver. It was like 5%. I was like, I can't imagine that was like only a low roll. Like that looked like, but like he it's funny. The set ended and he was like, I didn't expect to live that, and I was like, dude, what do you mean? Like that, like it's so funny because like Justin Karras comes by and he's like, yeah, I played him. That bear is like definitely like so much more bulky than the Frankfurt bear, and I was like, well, I got spread diffed, I guess. Like it's one of those things where it's like in my head it's like this was the correct play to make. And I don't feel bad about it, but like that bear was beefed. He was beefed out of his mind. Like,
you got owned. That's so.
I got owned by spread. Like,
oh my god.
But and then I guess a notable thing in my Tang matchup is that in game 3, in a very very favorable position, I got double frozen and lost.
Oh, you were the one. You were the one.
I was the tweet. No. I was the one that got double frozen by Tang, and I took it very gracefully. I will say that, like, I really loved how I was playing this tournament. So like, I didn't feel that terribly bad because I was like, okay, I lost to a double freeze. Like everything that I was doing up until this point has felt amazing. Even losing to Jeremy on a spread diff, like there was not much that I was very upset with. If anything, the only set that I was upset with was losing to Matt because I really just couldn't figure out what to do during that set, like at all. Like probably... I even winning game 1, I was like, what? How did I win that? Like,
it's probably a good point to transition to talking about this one, seeing as both of you played against this and ultimately got second in the tournament. I did not, by the way. I'm just now realizing this hands was Terra Psychic. I did not look at that part yet. That's funny. I said hands. No, that's the wrong Pokemon. No, it's Hariyama.
Okay.
Flesh hands.
Flesh hands.
Yeah. Oh man. I gotta say I guess he doesn't completely stick to it with the Archaludon here. But I feel like Matt Tid has a general tendency to just kind of like play teams without Protect and to like use a lot of Pokemon that don't have Protect. And I always like admire this style of playing VGC because like Protect, we all know that it has its strengths and it has its place. Not every Pokemon needs it, but it's almost always got a use case. But if you can play the game without it, you're usually making an effort to, really have a board state that doesn't get run over by X and Y. It doesn't need a bunch of repositioning. You always have the right switch. And it takes clever team building and play to craft something that can play without Protect. I know, again, Archaludon has Protect, but like it's difficult. It can genuinely be difficult. But otherwise,
and you do have to play very precisely, and you have to you don't have the ability to come back in games as easily. I think because you can't reposition as easily, and you can't so you have to constantly be very proactive about your positioning. But I think speaking of this team, because I remember the lack of protects when you played Matt back in Baltimore regionals on stream, which is almost the exact same team, and you cooked him. And I was sitting there like, man, if he had protect, it might have been a more of a match. But you just called the slot right, and you took a KO basically every turn that game.
That team was a lot more hyper offense than what I was using now, though. So it was a lot easier to break and take advantage of the fact that he couldn't protect or reposition. This time, it's still offensive, but like there's like a lot of problems with the offensive tools that I have into this version, particularly like mouse hold, like sitting in front of a Volcarona. It's like I'm not clicking population bomb, like I'm not doing that, and just Goldango being like one of the most offensive pieces on my team, and it having struggle bug means I can't just like start mouse Goldango and start clicking Nasty Plot, like so. There was it was like kind of the shoe was on the other foot this time, where it was like I really was the one that didn't really have that much of a matchup, and I just had to kind of like try and brute force my way through it.
Was this the top 16 stream?
Say that again?
Was this the top 16 stream?
Yes. Yeah.
No. Oh, this was the top
16 stream. He's talking about Baltimore last year. I played against Matt Tidd in round 3, and I cooked him both games without losing him on. Like, because it's just like he was running basically the same team, but like like the team that I was running at the time just like had the tools to be able to like rip through his leads, and because I had like really strong flying stab, and he had like 4 mons that got one shot by Terraflying Terra Blast from.
I'm dying to know now. I need to remind myself.
It's Lorenzo's team, Lorenzo Arsh.
Okay.
So I just led Ape Dragonite and just did Terraflying Terra Blast.
Dozo.
Yeah, Dozo gear. I already want to click away. I already want to like be like next. Let's just move on. We don't need to sit in our time talking about this.
I was the cultivator of the Ape Dragonite mode. Like that was my claim to that team. So
I like that part.
God, it's the guy who invented Ape Dragonite. That's like
I didn't invent it, but like that was my like this is what I want to lean into kind of mode. They were like, oh, Dondozo fun coaching, and I was like, but what about the not Dondozo stuff? We have to be able to play non-Dondozo mode. But yeah, and then here the shoe's on the other foot, where it's like I can't really break these mons. Like, and if against a team like this, if you cannot like effectively break his team or sit in front of it, then he's just going to outsustain you. Like that's just kind of how the nature of this team is, and that's what ended up happening.
Chuppa, what are your thoughts on this team?
Playing against this in finals was wild. It was sort of just like I think I'd kind of told like some of the friends I was working with, like, hey, if I happen to move on to finals and don't have much time to prep, I'm going to need a little bit of help figuring out how to approach this. And it just seemed wide open. Like even as some of my friends were confident, like, oh, here's something that you should be doing, I was thinking like, oh wow, it felt like I kind of had to go all in on like, is my opponent going to be doing a Trick Room mode or a Tailwind mode at team preview, figure out what Pokemon I'm going to bring. I really didn't expect the Tailwind mode at first. I thought like, oh, this is going to be Trick Room. I've got a lot of mid-speed Pokemon. He'd rather do that than like worry about going fast when I have a Dragonite that can try and keep up with that. And that's why game one it ended up being so close. It was sort of just like figuring out how am I going to stall out my opponent having better speed control than I do. Just an absolutely like really tricky team to go up against, or at least like I don't know. It's no one is going to know how to approach this 100% correctly on their first go against it, even if it's like not a perfect team or anything. The fact that it's throwing everyone off their balance counts for like so much. No one knows how to fight against this.
Yeah, that's exactly correct. It took me like an entire day of reflecting just to understand how to approach this. Like, so like what do you, I 100% agree with what Chuppa is saying.
Yeah. And on top of that, like that, the shoe is completely on the other foot when Matt's playing against you, because when you're running XYZ and Matt's seen this before, you're gonna have a really tough time, because this is like that the matchup experience diff can go a long way. And also, there's just so much funny stuff on this one, like King Gambit, Goggles, Swords Dance, but also still Ironhead, Heat Proof on the Sinistcha. Like, it just, like, there's a lot of Pokemon in this that I'd be like, they'd appreciate an extra 25% on the way in, but the Sinistcha wants to be able to sit on the field a little bit more, get off those Calm Minds, Strength Sap to live forever, maybe get up multiple Trick Rooms or something like that. I don't know. Honestly, a lot of the team just completely perplexes me. I'm being honest. It's insane.
Well, we've got a report to look forward to that's going to answer so many of these questions.
It does have all the things that Meze likes, though. You gotta get that Firewater Grass. You gotta get that Fantasy Core. It checks all the boxes. What's the problem?
Boxes are checked off. Like,
that's so funny. Okay, other teams that stand out. Well, the two top 4 teams were the same, and I believe Daniel and Dylan worked together as well. And yeah, this is kind of like, I don't know, anytime you see Sinistcha paired with Archaludon, it feels a little bit more like and especially with Ursaluna, the Elizabeth style of Rain. It doesn't feature a Dragonite or a Golden Go, so technically not exactly the same. But yeah, this is not the first time that Daniel has, teamed up with somebody and made it all the way to, not it was finals at I'm forgetting the name. Is it Atlanta? Was that the one?
Atlanta, yeah.
Atlanta. Yeah, and Joey
him and Joey Woodring. But Daniel and Dylan both double top 4ing here. Just a really crazy showing. Good play from both of them, as well as probably a good meta call. I bet that the team was just feeling really strong, and so it's not a spicy team. There's nothing like absolutely wild here, but the consistency of 2 players running the same build, both making it this deep with something that looks something like a little more typical. I just think it can't be undervalued. A very strong finish from them both.
I also think it can't be understated that there's 3 Sinistcha in top 4.
Yeah, they're all right here, all lined up.
Gotta speak to that kind of like a concept that I was saying, when like you just can't break something, like it will eventually, especially in like a lower power format. If you can't break their team, then they will eventually win.
Yes.
Yeah. And that team, I think, really fell out of favor, partially because of the Sun matchup. And of course, I don't see any Sun. Doing very. I don't see Charizard Sun. Sorry.
I was
did too well.
Yeah.
We'll get to Raja's team. Don't worry. But I do want to quickly. What's up?
You need to put some respect on Tom Hayden's son too. I think he finished in top 32 with his own like really unique Charizard take on it.
Okay. I'm mostly thinking of Marco's son, but
34.
this is cool. Well, I was going to say about Daniel. Don't forget he got top 32 at Worlds in 2024 using Basculegion. On that was obviously Reg G, but I think as far as Basculegion players go, other than Gavin, I think Daniel is the top of my list of people I least want to face piloting Rain. He's just been so consistent when he's using this type of team. So he's definitely up there, and he's definitely kind of come out of nowhere the last couple of years to prove himself as one of the top North American players with this level of consistency.
He's doing really, really well lately. That's awesome. Absolutely.
And also, we will maybe be having him on Tub Takes next week. Him and Dylan tentatively are coming on next week. So look forward to that if you want to hear more about this team.
All right. Yeah. No, that is the current plan. I'm definitely looking forward to it. Justin Tang here. Nothing to say about it. We had him on last week, and he's still doing it. And that's, I mean, just a I feel like knowing your team, especially in a format this wide, is pretty helpful because you know, I don't think it pays off that much to be a leg up in the builder. I mean, yes, of course, it would be nice to be running something that nobody's ever seen before. But you're also going to be going up against a lot of different teams. There's so many variations on variations of, like, you know, what a balanced team might look like. So you have to be ready for anything and everything. And that's what I think Justin Tang is proving here, is that he's just, you know, he knows what to do against most stuff. And so that's, I mean, the team is still strong despite, you know, whatever Shil Yang has been saying to him in his DMs with him or whatever.
Yeah, and this is his third straight regional cut. He cut Toronto, with his team, Toronto, Monterrey, and now here, which are, of course, the last three events that we've had in this format. So 3 straight cuts, very, very impressive. He just released a team report with his team on his YouTube channel. So if you want to hear more about it and you want to get the bin, go check that out.
I gotta say, once the team report's out, that's when you know the team's washed. That's when they finally give it up. That's how you know that it's over. Like, Marco released his team. The thing was, like, it seemed like it was over for Marco's Sun team. Like, it didn't do that well at Frankfurt. And then he just, like, posted today, like, yeah, by the way, I'm still crushing ladder with the team. Like, it's free. And I'm like, don't do this, Marco. Please, please. I don't want to deal with your Sun team anymore. Please.
I think it's kind of cool. Like, it seems like a good chunk of people actually took a stab at using Marco Sun this weekend. That team seems like a team that would be, like, relatively difficult to pick up. There's a lot of, like, kind of unusual Pokemon on it, or I think the way you have to play with it might take some time to pick up. Apparently, the guy that he is selling for the team must be really good if it's helping people get up to speed on the team.
Yeah,
so
totally.
it's cool to see the team, like, having a little bit of extended life.
Absolutely. Somebody said he's just still manipulating the meta. You might be right. Maybe it's actually just all a lie.
Well, but speaking of Marco Sun, you know, you guys haven't seen the latest version of Marco Sun, the new upgraded version of Marco Sun. The best Marco Sun player at this tournament, Edward Glover, top 64, who has a brand new take on it, and it's kind of sick.
Oh no, I know what you're talking about now.
I thought you were going to talk about the Lorenzo.
Hold on. I have some tea on this. This version of the team already existed.
Wait, what?
At Sacramento last year, a player named John Durant ran this exact version of Marco Sun with Bronzong over P2. And he put Blast Burn on Charizard because I ran Giga Impact on Dragonite, and he asked me, we were rooming together, he asked me, like, okay, well, this 4th move, what do I do? And I looked up a calc for Blast Burn, and I said, you could OHKO Incineroars with Blast Burn, bro. Like, I was like low-key, like, joking, but then he ran with it, and then, like, after the tournament, he was like, bro, I OHKO'd like 3 Incineroars with Blast Burn.
No way.
Like, I promise you look up Sacramento, look up John Durant, you'll see this exact 6 with Blast Burn on Charizard.
Yeah. That's lit. That's so lit. Oh my god. And yeah, Tom Hayden's team as well. We were talking about that one earlier. The Choice Scarf Charizard. Tom Hayden was in Monterey, was he not? I think.
Oh, I don't.
No, did somebody else use the Charizard? Oh, I'm mixing it up. Actually, no, it was not. It was Jin Farai who used the same-ish team, I think. That's what I'm thinking of. Yes. Chat immediately hit me with the notes. Give me a second, guys. Sometimes I just say things, and then I have to figure out that I'm saying things incorrectly. Okay. So, Lorcy ran basically the Terrablast version of the Acro Sneasler team. This is just Double Dance still doing it, which I don't know. Apparently, some people like it and some people hate it in terms of the name. I'll ask your guys' take. Is Double Dance not a fine way to refer to this, or is it not specific enough? Because you don't know actually what it is.
Golden Goat doesn't dance. I know what you're going for, but I fundamentally disagree with that.
No, wait, no. I said Double Dance, like, because it's this team, not the.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, Chuppa, you're
talking about the Swords Dance Sneasler and.
I moved on from that one. No. Yeah, this one is Double Dance.
Okay. Yeah, I don't like it here either.
Oh, come on.
Not every team needs to have a funny name. It's just Sneasler Volk balance.
Oh, that's a mouthful, dude. Listen, did you see how you had to pause after each one there?
I know. I'm not proud of it.
Yeah. Brutal. Never coming back from that one. And then let's see. The Rushil here ran the Scarf Bass team that I don't really have a good name for. It usually runs offense Ninetales. And it's got a Magmar and stuff, but somebody used it last regulation H. So a version of this.
This is the team. This is the team that I was talking about earlier. The team that
Yes.
Mikhail got 15th with that I was thinking about bringing. I was going to bring.
Yeah.
I think this also got top 8 at Toronto, I'm pretty sure.
Is this what
I think so.
Benny used, or was that something else?
That sounds right. I don't think was he on the Life Orb Ninetales? Oh, he was. Sick. I didn't realize that. Oh, this
nothing
is
ever changes, by the way. Nothing's ever new.
Well. So to give you some context, the this team there's a team report for it that Narrett Mikhail posted after top cutting Gdansk regional, I think, back in the first regulation H, and there's a couple changes to it, like the Life Orb Ninetales that have been adapted, which I guess was probably Benny's invention. But yeah, this team's been around for a while, and it's been doing pretty consistently well for a while.
I think the next team that we should take a quick look at is the team that Dawei and Yishin ran. This one was really cool. I think maybe you both got the chance to play against one or the other players on this one.
I didn't play against this.
You did not. Okay.
I was like looking at this team and I was like, when I saw it, like when I was looking over the teams, I was like, it's like just stay away.
There's a lot of strong like balance things here that are not brand new. Goggles, Ape doing the final gambit stuff, but also attacks. That guy's plenty cool. But the Stalwart Arch is a really cool one. And again, that's not like also brand new. I know Wolf did it last year or whatever, but it doesn't see a ton of play, and so when it pops back up, it's just like it's an interesting and can be scary thing. Sometimes people really rely on redirection for their game plans, and a Terra Electro shot going right around that can break some stuff open. It's a cool set.
I was more so saying stay away because this thing has like 6 mons that basically cannot be hit by population bomb if they choose not to.
Got the Terra Steel.
Terra Steel, Terra Ghost, Incineroar, Arch, 2 Ghosts. It's like,
Poor Mousehold.
That is something I was wondering about your team, Meze, and I know this is like a bit of a segue, but like, how do you deal with teams that just have a lot of like ghost types? Does it ever feel like a lot of your damage is shut out by that, or do you kind of have like, I don't know, plans to deal with the ghosts, or say that you're gonna like maybe focus on your golden go harder at that point, or your basket?
Basket Legion highlight reel, you know, like it's like if if they don't have like good speed control, if they're not like a hard trick room team, which I don't know many hard trick room teams that have too many ghosts, but they're usually trying to go first in some way, shape, or form. So my approach to that is just I put out Basket Legion with something that can make sure that it goes first, and the ghosts see it and they're like, oh my god. Like, and then you just kind of keep like flip turning and like cycling around until Basket Legion has like a full like lane clear to just click last respects, and like none of the ghosts are surviving that. Most of them Terra or not. So that's kind of how I approach it. Is just make sure Basket Legion is kept safe, and it's probably similar for you in some regards, where it's like when you get like 1 or 2 really pivotal last respects, then like the rest of the game is just like, okay, like the lane is clear. Like
yes. A lot of that is, I mean, I guess that's always the case in VGC, but it definitely feels like the case in Regulation H, where you're clearing the lane for something. Sometimes it can be an early mon doing big things with Specs Make It Rain, or it can be a late mon like Last Respects Basket Legion. There are a lot of ways to just make sure these Pokemon are enabled to do their best job. I wanted to just pull this one up really quick because, like, I don't know, you mentioned Hard Trick Room, and I have a couple of students that I'm not shy giving them a hard time about being like, wanting to use Hard Trick Room and stuff like that, but it's just Hard Trick Room continues to just not really put up the numbers that I feel like you would want from it. I think Tom Hayden had a pretty cool run with a different version of it, but like that standard, Hard Trick Room stuff, it's just kind of like struggling, I feel like, and so
this conversion
it's like Dozo tier.
Female is gonna make me sick.
Yeah. I do think that if I were to play this team, the Aaron Clemens version, I think he went 7-5. That version looked a lot more interesting to me, where he had the Arma instead of the Hatterin, and he had a Dragapult on it as like a fast mode. With the
this is just different.
That version is pretty cool. It is different. It's not really
the
same
reason
classic hard.
It won't scratch the itch of the hard Trick Room player, Audie. This looks like annoying to play, and like I don't know if it's going to be that good or not. No disrespect to Aaron here, but the hard Trick Room player is not going to look at this and want to play it. This doesn't set Trick Room up every game turn 1. So that's where you failed to meet the criteria.
Well, so I think that like the obviously not hard Trick Room, but the Trick Room team of the format to me feels like the P2 Ursa stuff, where you are pretty consistently going into Trick Room and doing well, and we see Kalen in top cut. But as far as like worst performers or biggest underperformers, I think this is the other biggest underperformer. Did you know that what was Amoonguss? I think Amoonguss was only one usage in day 2. Is that it? That I saw.
Huh?
Amoonguss
more than one
you're
in
bugging,
day
you're
2,
bugging.
but like there's only
no,
one.
it was low.
It's
No,
on 107 teams? No, I thought it was on
there was
107
14.
teams. Never mind.
There were 14 in day 2 and only 1 in top cut. Porygon 2 had a really low conversion rate as well. Those two were two of the biggest underperformers of the tournament, and obviously they're often used on the same team, which is to me the other team that really very consistently sets up Trick Room and tries to sweep in Trick Room. And so it is probably something to note that these two teams that are somewhat similar, both underperformed pretty tremendously at this tournament. And we were talking about this last week too, how P2 Ursa felt like it was falling off after Frankfurt and Monterrey as well.
Right.
But Kalen's just built different. Kalen took the same team from Sacramento, replaced the Garchomp, which we have a team report with him if you want to learn how to play the team. Replaced the Garchomp with the Ursaluna and went ahead and top cut anyways.
All right.
Ursaluna is one of those teams that, like, whenever people are like, "Oh, it's not doing so hot," or I talk with someone who's like an expert of the archetype, like Rafa, and he's like, "The team's not doing so hot." I'm always kind of surprised because it seems like something that's like pretty consistently scary to go up against. And the first time we were having Regulation H, I kept telling people like, "I don't think this team's going anywhere. I think you can kind of just keep throwing these 6, these maybe 5 Pokemon at your opponent for the next couple of months, and it's going to work." So it's always just like interesting to see how other teams go through like meta shifts or meta swings like that, when to me it seems strong from the outside.
100%. Yeah, I was given the same advice to Rafa, is that nobody knows the hardest matchups for your team better than you do, and that's like it's very easy to just like focus on those losses when it's not gonna. That's not exactly how it's gonna be at a tournament. You're not gonna play Rain 8 rounds in a row. You're gonna have to play it like twice, and like you're not gonna like go through the whole gauntlet or something like that. So yeah, I don't know. Regardless though, before we get too carried away, I want to make sure that we talk about Rajan's team. James's team is pretty cool, but Rajan's team here, oh man.
The last soldiers, me, Rajan, and James.
Yes, that's true. And I think actually I did win smart money for this one, because we got Joe, Ryan, and Marcus, and I think Rajan outplaced all of them. So let's go Rajan winning me that smart money. The Ninetales here is super funny. I don't know, like
in disguise.
I guess so. Yeah, it's. Go ahead.
So the Ninetales is quite strong, I guess. But I think the standout to me is the Chlorophyll Whimsicott.
What the
Rajan
heck?
might be a little.
That one will sneak by you
because he told me
that one will be sneak by you.
Yeah, and he told me that a lot of opponents, including like Daniel Reyes, who's one of the best Reg H players, got top 32, I think. So like some very good players just didn't see it and played into it with their King Gambits and their Dark types getting locked in with Encore. And so that's the interaction that was really strong, was really cool. I will so I've played this team before. We played a cup last week. We brought this team, and I was his only loss in the cup. And so he's lucky that he couldn't make the regional because I was.
So I can't even call Rajan a prankster tailwind enjoyer. Like I did not notice that when I looked at.
You would have gotten got, Meze. You would have gotten so.
I would have gotten got.
I don't actually know how your team gets got, but you would have gotten got.
I would have
It's a
seen it
makeout.
as prankster.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
you have
yeah,
an
I
ensign.
mean,
you have an ensign. Yeah.
No,
That's how you get
I'm just saying I would have seen it and just thought it was Prankster. Like,
you.
I don't know that I would have done bad into this team, but I just would have seen it and thought it was Prankster. That's
Right.
all I'm saying.
No, that's the cool part. Yeah, I told Roshan that anytime it happened, he should say like, "Yeah, it was an accident." Like, just go with it, even though it was, I don't know if it was. Anyways, yeah. Follow me into Stalwart Arch. The thing about Follow Me into Stalwart Arch is that all of its abilities start with ST, and also I think A, or is it just ST? Stamina. Oh, sturdy. So no, not STA, but it's all ST.
Sturdy.
So if you have to be careful. It's one of the first things I check when I get handed a team sheet. Is like, all right, Arch, what's your ability? Like, I gotta know. All right, any other standout teams that we need to highlight here from like day 2 or anything like that? We talked about Chef having the Dustclops. That's pretty cool. Let's see.
Alberto's team was pretty well. That was pretty on brand, honestly. Actually.
Yes, Alberto's team looks like the
Dude,
team
this
of
is like if
somebody
you
who's
asked
playing this
AI
game
to
too
generate
low.
an Alberto team.
I mean,
That's what I'm
when I was
saying,
looking at the
Chop.
teams, the only thing I saw that I was like, oh wait, I gotta make sure that I remember that is that the Grimstar was Covert Cloak. But other than that, it's a pretty on-brand team for
Oh, wow, the Garchom's gonna click Earthquake. Oh no, it has a lot of immunities.
That's the plan.
He's
That's the plan, boss.
He's Giga Drain Volk, so that actually is something that's different than most folks. That
A little bit. And Black Glasses Hydreigon. Like, I think that was kind of funny. Is just like, I don't know. Other people would look at this and think like, I got goggles I could put on here, or something like that to make it a little more consistent against the Sun teams. But just one of those dark moves to just do a little bit more. Alberto and Ellie both finishing 9-3. That was hype.
Oh yeah, the power couple. Yeah.
No, the power couple finish is awesome. Oh, Cade here.
Dude,
yes.
nice.
I actually
Okay,
has
so
to be, like,
story time. This
Go
was
ahead.
my winning it to cut. I played against him. And I went into cut. I saw the Lucario and I was like, yeah, I don't even. I like looked past it and I was like, I'm just gonna ignore that exists and look at the other pieces. And I played this as if it was just a Talonflame Garchomp team. I saw the Sandville and I rolled my eyes a bit. And game 1 went as I expected. And then game 2 he starts Lucario and Goldango. And I'm like, oh my god, what is that thing? And I look at the team sheet again and I'm like, I just need this thing to drop because like I don't want to see it. He rolls my shit with Lucario game 2. Just like
Yeah.
I got bodied like literally like turn 3, like it's like okay, I already lost, but I have to like start thinking about like how I'm gonna deal with this Lucario in game 3. So I started stalling turns. And then game 3 he didn't bring it. And I was just like, oh my god, thank God! Like I was like, I will take this any day of the week. Like,
Wait,
Oh,
so what was
They-
Lucario doing to you that was so scary?
it was setting up board states that were like kind of like 50-50s because like it's inner focus, protect, e-speed. I have to decide if I'm going. It was a fake out immune lead, and I still let Incineroar. So I was like, okay, I can't really swap because like there's a Goldango with specs and a Lucario, so like I have to make a decision here. Like, do I try and like nuke the Lucario that knows it can't be faked out, or do I like try and like pivot out my Basculegion and take something that Goldango is going to then hit it with? Like I was basically like pinned on lead, like where I was like I'm kind of pinned, but I don't know that he knows that, so I'm gonna like try and double the Lucario. Because it was Sash, so I tried to fake it out and Terra-Fighting Terra-Blast it because I was like, well, I mean, why would I fake out the Lucario, right? And then he protects it, and I was like, okay, I lost.
No.
Like, I was like, what? Basically, because I was like, I can't pivot. Like, there's too much damage on the board here for me to just click pivot moves. And then because that's what I meant by like a 50-50. Because it's like if I attack the Goldango and he doesn't attack with Lucario, I'm fine. But if he just clicks close combat into my Incineroar and he's not intimidated, I'm dropping. And I can't Terra in front of the Goldango because it might just click Make It Rain anyway. So I had to go.
I see
for
why
like,
they took Follow Me from this thing. It sounds like deadly. Like right now,
Yeah.
it sounds
Yeah,
like a good, like
dude,
off-meta
bring it
Pokemon.
back.
I totally get it. But if it had
So
Follow
I
Me,
just
it would
went
be a
for it.
demon.
So I just went for the attack, and then he protected it, and I was like, like okay. So and then from there
I
he just
wish.
kept doing attacks because like I had already like kind of like lost like too much momentum because again there was nothing to pivot to. The Goldango was gonna get some attack off, and my Incineroar basically was threatened with death like immediately. So I was like, I have to make a call.
I miss you. Follow me, Lucario. Oh, I miss you. That was one of my regional wins. But that was a different set. That was like Final Gambit. It was honestly, it was Annihilate Light. That's what it really was. If imagine what I could have done with 110 HP Final Gambit. I was using 70 and I was happy. Okay. So let's see. I'm seeing actually quite a few.
So Alex, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
What do you feel about Orthworm this format?
I already tried it. Tried it yesterday on stream, actually. Tony's team. And to be fair, like, Tony's team probably has some game plans that I was not seeing. But I was just kind of, like, pissed off. I played against Justin Tang's team, and I could not do anything. I was like, I can't... Where's my throat chop? Can I at least throat chop this Golden Go? No. I had to knock it off for, like, 30%. Because it's Grassy Seed behind Aurora Veil. Like... Knockoff horsepower, knockoff is like barely even killing, and by then everything's dead. So that was like part of my issue with it. But Orthworm was doing some fun stuff. It was able to pass those substitutes, and passing the substitute to Tyranitar was particularly cool. Just like being Intimidate immune and requiring you to double into it with a bunch of attacks and it's already so bulky. That part was pretty fun. But still not quite the fun I was having with it in Regulation C, I gotta say. It never will be, but it was still okay. A Geodude went 3 and 5? What do you mean a Geodude went 3 and 5? Huh? I don't know how I'm gonna find this. Geodude?
You gotta go to
There's too many
Pokédata,
people.
right?
Oh yeah, you're right.
Or
right. No, not Pokédata. Lab.
I guess Standings has it. Yeah.
Yeah, but you can't even do Control F Geodude on those sites.
No, I'm not gonna be able to find it. I guess I'd have to go to the 3 and 5s.
Give us a name. Give us a name, whoever's in chat. Leaf.
All right, what's Geodude rocking with? Like he's got fish. Does he have Fissure?
I don't think he
Well,
has
do you think
Fissure.
it's a Cantonian Geodude, or do you think it's an Alola Geodude?
I found it.
Yeah. That was the one, right?
Oh, dude. It was Alolan. Okay, we got Altaria, Chandelure. Okay, hold on. Pop quiz. I don't know the answer. Guys, what is the most used Pokemon on this team?
Gotta be Blastoise, right? Blastoise.
Malamar.
Right, Malamar for the memes?
Well, I mean, after they announced Mega Malamar, I imagine like at least enough people were like, let me put Malamar on my team for the next tournament.
I'm
you
with
are
you there,
correct. Yeah. How many people do you think brought Malamar to this tournament?
10.
Well, to this tournament,
No.
like
10. No, it's not a bad.
No,
6.
10 is crazy. It's probably
it's 4. It's 4.
Okay,
Okay.
See, enough people heard Mega Malamar and were like, let me put him on my team.
It's top place.
Chuppa, wide guard was the move you were looking for. It was wide guard.
I didn't know those guys get wide guard. Wait.
Oh, I knew Gio gets wide guard.
Sorry, I have to say this. This is the top placing Malamar in this tournament. Just so you guys know.
The one with the Geodude.
Dude, every time I look at like the fact that like Blastoise could have had Follow Me, Fake Out, Flip Turn, Follow Me would have been such a cracked moveset, dude. Oh man.
What's going on? I
knew it was
love
Wind
looking
Rider.
at bottom teams so much. Like I just have so many questions about like how this plays or what the approach with it is.
Chuppa, I
it's
got
just
the
someone
answer
who's
for it.
approaching the game very differently.
Topsy-turvy with my Draco Altaria. That's the plan.
Oh.
So that I can... yeah.
Oh, yeah, look at that. You get Draco and then Topsy-turvy immediately and just get +2.
And then click another like 70 special attack or whatever Altaria has Draco again.
Chill! Leave it alone!
Did you know Scott started 2-0? Including a win versus someone who went 5-3 at the tournament, round 1, which is like not like an actual impressive win.
That's not
I
bad.
think they should have been on stream in round 3.
2-0. If they were, you saying they were 2-0? Like they should have.
They got Cloud9. Maybe they ran up against a couple of weather matches.
Yeah. They beat a 5-3 Sand player, and it was like, oh, like that's like a real team. Like they beat 2 real teams in round 1 and 2.
I'm still so confused. Like, why is it little Geodude and not one of his evolutions? Like you just
maybe his favorite mod is
Geodude.
Maybe his favorite mod is Geodude.
Not even Graveler, dude. Not even Graveler. My cheeks hurt just looking at this team, man. Okay. All right. Yeah. Any other final teams before we wrap up? I'm just double checking that we didn't miss anything hyper interesting.
I don't think we're beating Geodude.
That's
Yeah, I don't
true.
think
That's just actual facts. Yeah, a lot of cool ones though. Gardevoir, that's pretty fun. And yeah, I would say that just like I don't know, me personally looking at this one, like I'm gonna be streaming some more ladder this week, and there's just like so many teams that I want to give a try to. Whether it's the like I feel like the team that James used is a one that looks like a lot of fun to play.
Yeah.
I was messing around with Kyle Livinghouse's team on stream yesterday. I thought that one was like, I mean, it's funny. It's basically the same team you guys are running, but like
it's funny because
blend.
like the team was almost this, but I don't like
Right?
Talonflame.
I love
yeah,
the Talonflame actually. I like the Talon. don't
it's
like
funny because
wins.
I so far I have cut regional with every prankster Tailwind mon except I guess you can't really call Talonflame prankster Tailwind, but
Hey, you can.
I've yet to explore Talonflame.
Wait,
but
you've
like
used like Illumise?
I don't count the I don't count the bug. I don't count the
I-
bug, but
I see.
you might see me pull
We're
up to
not-
the next Regates tournament with Illumise.
There's an Illumise-sized hole in your argument, you see.
Yes, maybe you'll see me come up to the next Regates tournament with Illumise. But I have yet to explore Talonflame that much.
That's pretty. Oh man. Yeah. So that was. I mean, very very cool tournament. And we don't have any regionals coming up immediately like this coming weekend, so nothing to preview here at the end. But I think that's gonna do it for this episode of Tub Takes. Again, Chuppa and Meze, thank you both for coming on.
Thanks for having me. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's an honor.
So yeah, next week, catch us. We'll be previewing the GC. Probably talking about. I think Victory Road, as I mentioned, has another tournament. So without it being like a regional weekend competing with anything, that one should have some good players competing in it. And not that there wasn't this week, I guess. Wow, it sounds like I'm flaming them. My bad. No, but it'll have some good players playing in that one, and lots of cool teams to probably look at as well. So yeah, if you're here now but you didn't catch the beginning, or you prefer to watch this on YouTube, this will be uploaded on YouTube tomorrow. So I would exclamation point YT in the chat, but I just know it's not going to work, so I got to fix that.
Yeah.
Anyways,
But big week for
CK49
YouTube
on
content.
Audie, go ahead.
Like I said, I had a video come out this weekend with talking about the merchandise from Pittsburgh and Pachirisu, and a whole big discussion that a lot of people seem to be talking about in the comments. Love it if you watch that. And Matt Tidd will be on the channel. Hopefully later this week. I'd like to get it out this weekend. That's the goal. So you can check that out and hear about how he used his crazy team to do well. And then, like you said, next week we don't have much going on. We'll preview the GC, but we got Daniel Yu and Dylan Matthews coming on the channel next week, and we are tentatively scheduled for Tuesday at 5:30 Eastern, early European friendly time. So if you're in Europe, make sure to tune in for that. Get your schedules ready. We got a lot of fun content coming out, and I'm really excited for it. Alex, you know when you're streaming this week?
I'll just be streaming.
You want to plug that?
I'm just gonna be streaming every day this week, like in the afternoon, I guess. I don't know. It's kind of sporadic, so I'm not gonna commit to anything. What I will commit to though is rating Lorsey. Lorsey just got top 8, and it seems like he's streaming right now. I don't know if we're catching him on the tail end of it. I didn't actually pop in, but definitely go say hi, congrats as well from us, and yeah, we'll catch you guys next week. Peace out, peeps. Later.